All right. So, welcome to Media Studies this semester. Before we get going, I'm just going to put my camera on and say hi. And just so those who might not know me, hi, this is me. And if you hear chirping, that is why. I have some random little chicks around with me at the moment. So, welcome to Media Studies. It's going to be a fun semester. We're going to be looking at a whole bunch of different things, local media, international media, and immerse ourselves a little bit more. So yeah, it's going to be a fun time together. Well, that's what I'm aiming for at least. All right, I'm going to switch my camera off. Just so for those who don't know me can put a name to the face. Actually, I'm just seeing here in Muscle Bay, everything is still okay. Oh. When strikes and protests happen, they really mess with everything, don't they? All right. Okay, guys, so tonight's collab, we're not going to have a massive amount. I know a lot of you guys obviously haven't even had a chance to connect with the material. Some of you hopefully have. But I just want to give you guys context and explain what media studies is all about. For some of you that did join last semester, you're going to see a bit of overlap within the first learning unit, and you know, it's going to be the same kind of thing of looking at the world around us and what's going on, but looking at it from a more theoretical perspective, and then obviously applying it to the real world. Okay, so just to give you guys context, let me just load this. No, not that page. Next page, you irritating thing. Okay, so if you guys have a look, if you zoom in under more resources, you'll see the prescribed material there is free, Media Studies Volume 1, and there is the digital copy of it here available to you. With the digital copy, it doesn't let you like download the whole thing, but if you don't have the funds to buy the book or whatever, they have actually given you the link to the book, which is always a bonus, seeing as though your textbooks cost a small fortune. The textbook is needed. We don't use the whole thing, but we use a decent amount of it. We use probably about half the book. So it is recommended to get it. The other thing for those who did join last semester, last year, whenever, you can also, for this beginning stuff, you can actually use your journal books as additional resources. And I know you guys really like to have easy additional resources that are on hand. It just means obviously that you're getting more bang for your buck for your textbooks, which is also a bonus. Okay. So when we look at the module itself, just in terms of what you guys are going to be doing, okay, you've got 3 forms of assessment. Okay, you've got ICE, which is already up and under more resources on VC Learn for you guys. I got those up early so that as you work through stuff at your own pace, you obviously can go there and work on the ICE tasks, and they're there to support and help. You'll also see that there are more ICE tasks than you need to do. You only have to do 4, but I like to give you guys at least options. So if there's one you really don't like or don't want to do, or if you are the kind of person that needs those tasks to force you to study, they're there. Okay, so options. Okay, then in terms of your bigger written things, you have 2 major assessments. You've got the part, which is learning 1 through 3, theme 1, and then a POE, all right, portfolio of evidence. So you'll see in the OneDrive, I'm going to speak to all my resources and all that in a second, just so everyone's on the same page. You'll see there is a POE and a part in my student resources folder already. Now that is the same one as last year and what was used last semester, okay? I don't think it will change, but in saying that, I went and double checked all the folders, the student resources and everything, And for semester 2, 2023, the part and the POE have not been added to the folder. So that does mean there is a chance that they could give us new ones this semester. But I will obviously keep tabs of that, and if that is the case, then I will adjust. But if they keep them the same, which last year was a first year, those POEs and the POE and the part were used, so chances are they're going to keep it. They generally keep it for a couple of years to a few years. So don't get gung-ho and get started and stuck into that yet. Just give us a bit of time to just monitor and see what's going on with that folder. And then it does mean that at least if it changes, then you haven't gone and done a whole assignment and then have to do a whole new one. Okay. And then your POE is based on everything. Again, hasn't been loaded on the folder, but it should be the same one that can be found from last semester and last year. Okay. So it does mean that, you know, in terms of pacing yourself, you've got 2 big goals with the ice, you know, scattered in there for good measure. So I will, as we get through each of the learning units and get through bits of content that I know that then come up in the POE once we've worked through it, I know we've got our NSS, but like I always do, I will still talk to the questions within your part and your POE earlier than the NSS, because not everyone can attend the NSS, and also because sometimes you just want to start working on your assessments because you have a gap or you have some time or whatever the case may be. And just leaving it to the NSS doesn't work with everyone's schedules. Okay. All right. Does anyone have any questions on the assessments or anything like that? Or anything that I've spoken to so far? I'm hitting the ground running with all this info. I'm sorry if it's overwhelming on your first day back to lectures. Okay, all good. Cool. Right. What sort of time frame should we give waiting for the part? I'd say give it 2 weeks before you get stuck in. That way, I should see something by then. And if nothing appears in the next week or 2, I'll query it and then let you guys know. Okay. I just don't want anyone doing unnecessary work. Yeah, exactly. So I will put in, so I was just, we keep getting updated passes, so I hadn't put all the submission dates and collab dates and everything 100% into your calendar for my side, but your part is due, I'm just getting your, no, that's the wrong media studies. Sorry, I'm just pulling up the pacer. Yeah, I also do hope it's unchanged. At the same time, a bit of change would be nice because it means not analyzing the SABC, who are, you know, a little bit on the boring side. But we go with it. Okay, my 7th of September, there we go. Thank you very much, Petra. My PDF reader has decided now is the time that it shall freeze, because Murphy's Law, when I'm in the first collab. So that's why I have a sneaky suspicion it's not going to change, because, you know, 7th of September is literally a month away. So I don't think they would change it within the next couple of weeks. So we'll see. Like I say, let's even give it a week. And if we don't see anything new loaded this week, I'll query it so that you guys have a good 3 weeks to work on it. Okay. All right. It is around the corner. But at the same time, we're all good. We will get there. Okay, it's doable. All right. And the the part is not too intense. They're quite simple and easy to deal with questions. Okay. Again, that's why I have a sneaky suspicion it's not gonna change. Okay. So just in terms of where you'll find everything, so I'm sure you guys all did get the email and the VC Learn announcement, and in the WhatsApp group. Just to reiterate, everything will be in that student material folder in the OneDrive that I've created for you guys. The link is in the description of our WhatsApp group. All right, I've just clicked now that I think I did not change the link of the WhatsApp group in the description. It might still be linked to the Journ one, but I will just double check that now. I mean the previous media studies one. All right, but what is, oh no, I did change it. Okay, awesome. So everything is available in that student folder. Everything that you need from me will be there. If there's anything that I need to share with you, I'll put it into that student folder, and everything, every collab and recording that we have will be loaded onto YouTube. Okay. Please, guys, use the WhatsApp group. You're welcome to private message me as well. If it's something that you think is going to benefit the whole group to have the answers to, then please put it out there for everyone. But I am here to make your lives easier and to assist you and support you. So I'm here for those questions. I'm there for support. There is no such thing as a stupid question. If you're asking the question, it means you're battling with something. And sometimes it's, you know, it could be a simple answer, but because you've had your head down studying so much, you look, you know, you get the answer from me and you go, oh, of course, that makes complete sense. So sometimes you just need that different perspective. All right. If I don't reply straight away, just know that it means I am probably in class during the day, or, you know, doing something with my family, and I will reply as soon as I can. If you can send a WhatsApp rather than an email, you know, it's a simple question, then rather WhatsApp me. Don't find it unprofessional or anything. I generally have my phone, and WhatsApp is quicker and easier for me than email sometimes. So just, you know, do what you're comfortable with. And like I say, if you don't get a message straight away, just know it's just me with life, and I will reply as soon as I possibly can. Okay. So I'm just pulling up the pacer quickly just to show you guys, for those who haven't gone into the folder. Okay. So everything is here, and you'll see that everything we do is leading up to the part. So we will have everything finished by, we'll have the collab on the 21st of August, and then we have the 4th of September, we have our NSS. So we are right on schedule with everything. The first 3 learning units are the fundamentals of media study in terms of theories and the history of SA media, so apartheid era versus media today. So it's all very straightforward. I don't want to say it's a lot of reading, but it's more reading than studying like you would for psych or comms or English, you know, those kinds of subjects, because it's about making sure that I can see that you understand the work. Okay, so the pacer does have everything. There's a whole lot of extra links available to you there, and I've tried to put everything as simple and as clear as possible within the pacer. Okay, so I haven't found any mistakes from my side. So, but if you see anything that is a mistake or something, just WhatsApp me and say, hey, Annie, I picked this up, and then I can correct it. I made a small mistake on the NCTE one, and because I'm reading the same things over and over again, my brain just auto corrects it for me. Love it, but at the same time, it's frustrating when you are creating documents. Okay. Right. Any questions before I get into learning unit 1? because tonight is only about learning Unit 1 and saying hi and getting us all kind of together. So any questions at all? Everyone good? Okay. Cool. All right. Oh, and interrupt me as much as you need. Okay. So if I'm talking about something and you're not sure, then just say, whoa, 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 I don't get X, Y, and Z. Okay. My question before I get into this learning unit, have any of you even had a chance to look at learning unit 1? Or am I talking with the idea that it's still to come? Okay. You watched last semester's recording. Okay, cool. That is the thing, guys, with the YouTube channel, you can, like, if you're needing to work a little bit ahead of where we are as a class, you can always look at what I did last semester, because it's all going to be the same stuff at the end of the day. All right, it's the same module, nothing's changed, so you've got that backup, which is awesome. All right, that's the one nice thing about everything being starting to be out of sync, running things in first and second semester. Okay. Let me just pull up Learning Unit 1's notes. Okay. So just for those who are still to buy the book, so just make sure you get the this version, not the that, if that makes sense. Okay. Oh, please ignore the assessments. That's changed. I must actually update that. They changed it for last semester and I didn't get to update. Hi, I don't see a designated lecture on VC Learn. Clear Dan, sorry, I don't know if I'm saying that correct or incorrect. I am the OT for group 1 and group 2. I don't know if there is what group are you in? So I should be for group 1 and 2, but I haven't got group 2 loaded yet on my system. Okay, cool. That's what I was just about to say. Guys, can you let me know if you can hear me? Because I've just been plunged into darkness. Thank you, husband, who put on the emergency light. It is not load shedding, but we have no power. Fabulous. Okay. Small miracles of having laptops. All right, so just to say, please make sure you get the correct version. There are still quite a few of these older versions floating around, and I don't want you guys having the wrong copy. Okay. So, in terms of what is important for you guys and what I want you to focus on is, if you have a look at the notes that are up on VC Learn, is from Learning Unit 1, Part 1. Okay, I will go and try and merge these when I make the corrections. Guys, give me 1 second. Sorry, I just wanted to silence the chicks. Okay, what is important here is to focus on looking at the SABC and what it is all about. So the SABC is obviously our South African Broadcasting Commission, and what is important is that we need to understand what the SABC was during the apartheid era versus what it's all about today. So the SABC during the apartheid era was to encourage segregation and push the viewpoints of the ruling party. And when you're working through the material, what you're going to be doing for your part is you're going to be looking at the different commissions that were used to speak to the media and policies and laws and what they needed to do in terms of branching out with broadcasting and so on. So what is important here is for you to look at what was happening during these time periods, so the 1936 to 1948, what was happening within the government, what was happening within the SABC in terms of, when we start looking at post-World War and our media and so on. So you need to think about what was happening with our government and the media, because obviously the SABC, being the spokesperson for the government, they were the ones that were so influential. So it's important to look at how the SABC began, how it was built, but then also when you start looking at 1960 onwards, when we started to see a shift and change, and where we started to see SABC needing to reach the South African people in a different way, when we were starting to see the changes being brought about by different commissions and different analysis of what's going on within the South African media. Okay, so what's important for you guys to focus on is that whole aspect of the SABC, but also then how it influences not only the government, but also how it was influencing other media within South Africa. Because obviously the SABC didn't stand alone, but what they did kind of led the way for the rest of the other forms of media. Does that make some sense of where I want you to go with that? Awesome. Okay. So then in the part 2 set of notes, okay, so it's the orange ones, you'll start seeing where it speaks about the different commissions. So if you have a look here, where it just speaks, just talking about the Viljoen Commission, what it's about, why it's there, and what the Viljoen Commission did in terms of bringing change and restructuring the SABC. This is what's very important in terms of your part. Okay, so the Viljoen Commission is one of the ones you can choose, and just within the notes, it does actually break it down a bit for you in a bit more detail. So it is one of those, to me, the Viljoen is one of the most influential of the different commissions which you'll be able to choose from. What I want you guys to do when you're working through Learning Unit 1 this week, what I want you to think about and what I want you to focus on is I want you to not get bogged down with too much information. Now, this is going to, it sounds contradictory that your OT is saying don't learn everything. But in this instance, you can't learn everything. You can have a good understanding of the media landscape. You can have a good understanding of what the environment was like without knowing every single little detail of that time period. Okay. If we are sticking to last semester's work, which obviously is what I'm hoping for, the focus is on these different commissions. It's not on the stuff from, the 1800s and what have you. So, when you work through the material, just think about the bigger picture rather than the minute details. But in terms of the time period that you must focus on and where you should start paying a little bit more attention is the apartheid era onwards. Please don't spend too much time on the content which is pre-apartheid, because that's not going to be what we are focusing on in this particular module. All right. Does that make sense, guys? Feels weird talking to a screen in darkness. Okay. So, and especially with this particular learning unit, it is very much about the background and it's about the foundation. And then from here, we then shift into looking at the media landscape and looking at global media and what have you. So this learning unit is just all about understanding context and understanding the South African environment, because obviously to understand our media environment, we have to know the past to understand the present. So again, if you have done Journ 6221, you will already have a good foundation and knowledge on this. Okay. If you haven't done it, you can also go and look at last year's recordings, or not last year, last semester's recordings, or just spend some time with the media studies book, because obviously that's what you're going to be using for your part and your POE. But just, try to draw out what you find as most relevant to the media landscape during the apartheid era and post-apartheid. All right. Questions? Obviously, for you guys, it's a bit difficult because you haven't had the chance to actually get through the material yet. You'll find that in the next collab, you might actually have some questions on this stuff because you would have actually had some time to work with the material. It's fun. I totally get that it has been, having the first lecture on the first day back. I can't expect everyone to have gone through all the material yet. That's completely unrealistic of me. So what I would like from you guys, is by the time we do our next collab, even though we'll be focusing on learning unit 2 and 3, if there is something that has come to mind or something that you feel you want to clarify with me and what have you, please feel free to ask in our next collab, because then you would have had a bit of time to obviously work through this content. Okay, guys. All right, well then if there's no questions, then tonight is short and sweet. I'm sure we'll make up for it in later collabs. But I will see you guys back online in 2 weeks on the 21st of August. All right. Thank you guys. Have a great evening. Chat to you soon. Bye.